On February 5, 2025, the world was once again captivated by a bold and unexpected proposal from former President Donald J. Trump. Trump, never one to shy away from grand visions, unveiled his plan to transform the war-torn Gaza Strip into a glittering Middle Eastern Riviera. This ambitious concept, immediately drawing comparisons to luxurious coastal destinations like Monaco and Cannes, sent shockwaves through the global political landscape. Trump's audacious idea promises a stark contrast to the current reality of Gaza. The proposal envisions a future where pristine beaches, luxury hotels, and bustling casinos replace the images of conflict and despair that have come to define the Palestinian territory. Trump, with characteristic flair for the dramatic, painted a picture of a revitalized Gaza, teeming with tourists and economic opportunity. He argued that such a transformation would not only benefit the Palestinian people, but also serve as a model for peace and prosperity throughout the entire region. This unexpected announcement, characteristically Trumpian in its boldness and disregard for conventional wisdom, left many wondering about its true intentions and feasibility. Could this be the long-awaited breakthrough for peace in the Middle East? Or was it merely another attention-grabbing headline from the former president, destined to fade away like a mirage in the desert? To understand the audacity of Trump's proposal, one must first grasp the complex and troubled history of the Gaza Strip. This small coastal enclave bordering Israel and Egypt has been a focal point of conflict and humanitarian crisis for decades. Home to over 2 million Palestinians, Gaza has endured years of blockades, repeated military operations, and chronic economic hardship. The territory has been under the control of Hamas, considered a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and several other countries since 2007. This control has further complicated relations with Israel and impeded international efforts to foster peace and development in the region. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is dire, with widespread poverty, unemployment, limited access to clean water and electricity, and a struggling healthcare system. The ongoing conflict has resulted in a devastating cycle of violence, leaving deep scars on the physical infrastructure and the collective psyche of its inhabitants. The prospect of transforming this beleaguered territory into a thriving tourist destination, while undeniably appealing, seems almost unfathomable given the deep-seated political, economic, and social challenges that plague Gaza. News of Trump's Middle Eastern Riviera plan landed like a bombshell in Washington, D.C. The former president, known for his unconventional approach to foreign policy, once again caught the political establishment off guard. The initial reaction within the current administration was a mixture of bewilderment, skepticism, and a hint of cautious optimism. Some officials expressed concern that the proposal, while undoubtedly ambitious, lacked a clear understanding of the complexities on the ground in Gaza. They pointed to the numerous failed attempts to broker peace in the region, arguing that Trump's plan was overly simplistic and unrealistic. Others, however, saw a glimmer of hope in the audacious proposal. They argued that the sheer boldness of the idea, regardless of its feasibility, might be enough to shake up the status quo and force international actors to finally address the long-standing issues plaguing the region. While the Middle Eastern Riviera proposal has been met with a mix of reactions, some analysts believe it to be a calculated move by Trump to reassert himself on the world stage and influence the future of the Middle East. They argue that the proposal, regardless of its chances of success, serves several strategic purposes for the former president. Firstly, it allows Trump to position himself as a bold and unconventional leader, willing to challenge the status quo and offer outside-the-box solutions to seemingly intractable problems. This image resonates with his base of supporters, who admire his willingness to break with traditional diplomatic norms. Secondly, the proposal serves as a critique of the current administration's foreign policy, implicitly suggesting that they lack the vision and decisiveness to tackle the complex challenges in the Middle East. Finally, by injecting this bold idea into the global discourse, Trump aims to force a conversation about the future of the Middle East and potentially shape the terms of any future peace negotiations. Section 5. The world reacts to Trump's vision. The international community's response to Trump's Middle Eastern Riviera proposal has been mixed, reflecting the complex geopolitical landscape and the deeply ingrained skepticism surrounding any plan for peace in the region. Some world leaders, particularly those who have grown frustrated with the stalled peace process, welcomed Trump's initiative, seeing it as a potential catalyst for renewed dialogue and progress. They expressed cautious optimism that the proposal, despite its challenges, could pave the way for a more prosperous and peaceful future for both Palestinians and Israelis. Others, however, were quick to dismiss the plan as unrealistic and potentially counterproductive. They argued that the proposal lacked a clear understanding of the historical complexities and political realities on the ground, and risked further inflaming tensions rather than fostering reconciliation. Some critics also raised concerns about the potential economic and environmental impact of such a massive development project, questioning its sustainability and long-term viability. Section 6. The Mountain of Challenges. While the vision of a Middle Eastern Riviera might be appealing, the practical realities of implementing such a project in the Gaza Strip are daunting to say the least. The proposal faces a mountain of challenges ranging from political and logistical hurdles to deep-seated ethical concerns. One of the most significant hurdles is the question of sovereignty and international law. The Gaza Strip is internationally recognized as occupied territory, and any plan to redevelop it must respect the rights and aspirations of the Palestinian people. The involvement of Palestinian authorities in the planning and execution of any development project is crucial for its legitimacy and long-term success. Another major challenge is the issue of security. The Gaza Strip has been plagued by violence and instability for years, and any successful redevelopment plan must address the root causes of the conflict and ensure the safety and security of residents and visitors. This requires a comprehensive approach that includes addressing the concerns of both Palestinians and Israelis, and fostering an environment of trust and cooperation. Section 7. A future transformed or dashed? The potential outcomes of Trump's Middle Eastern Riviera proposal are as diverse and unpredictable as the region itself. If, by some improbable chance, the plan were to succeed, it could radically transform the Gaza Strip and serve as a beacon of hope for the entire Middle East. Imagine a Gaza transformed into a thriving economic hub, attracting tourists and investors from around the world. The influx of capital and resources could revitalize the local economy, creating jobs, improving infrastructure, and raising the standard of living for millions of Palestinians. The success of this project could have a ripple effect throughout the region, inspiring similar initiatives and fostering a new era of cooperation and development. However, the potential for failure is equally real. If the plan is not carefully implemented and widely supported, it could backfire spectacularly, exacerbating existing tensions and leading to further instability in the region. Section 8. Trump's enduring influence on U.S. foreign policy. The Middle Eastern Riviera proposal, despite its uncertainties, highlights Donald Trump's enduring influence on U.S. foreign policy. Even years after leaving office, Trump continues to shape the conversation and challenge conventional thinking. His willingness to disregard established norms and pursue unorthodox solutions, while often controversial, has had a profound impact on how the United States engages with the world. Trump's approach to foreign policy, often described as transactional and America first, has prioritized bilateral deals and immediate gains over multilateral agreements and long-term strategic considerations. This approach has been met with mixed reactions, with some praising its pragmatism and others criticizing its short-sightedness and potential to undermine global alliances. The Middle Eastern Riviera proposal, with its focus on economic development and disregard for traditional diplomatic processes, is a prime example of Trump's unconventional approach to foreign policy. Section 9. The Uncertain Path Forward. As of February 2025, the fate of Trump's Middle Eastern Riviera proposal hangs in the balance. The proposal remains in its infancy, with many details yet to be determined and numerous obstacles to overcome. Whether this ambitious vision ever materializes remains to be seen. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether the proposal gains traction or fades into obscurity. The international community's response, particularly from key players in the Middle East, will be a major factor in shaping the plan's trajectory. Ultimately, the success or failure of the Middle Eastern Riviera hinges on the willingness of all parties involved to engage in good faith and embrace a vision of a shared future. Whether such a transformation is possible in a region riven by decades of conflict and mistrust remains an open question.